Okay, so here we have the dual climate control. As you can see, just putting the fan on now just to show you that there's nothing wrong with the fan spinning around. It should come on pretty intensely in a minute. There we go. The air conditioning is off at the moment, as you can see. The air conditioning is an automatic program. The air conditioning is going to kick in. It's going to be icy cold. But obviously that takes up more fuel, so I'm looking for economy the way things are now with the price of the fuel. Obviously you can direct it to footwells, screen. It does have a heated screen. Climate, well, the cruise control, and then after that I'm going to show hopefully the sport mode. Well, hopefully this will be a long enough stretch of road. I want to show you the low mode as it goes into low mode automatically. Now here we go, this should be give me enough speed. Right. I'm just going to stay at 50, so that should be sufficient to bear with me on the camera. Okay, that's 50, so I'm going to put cruise control on here, and I'm going to lock myself at 50, press this button on the handset on the steering wheel here. So here we are, locked on it. Let's just go a little bit faster than 50, so if I push that button there, it will go. Here we are, about 51, 52. I may have people overtake me, but that's just how it is. Now I have to stay in here. As you can see, it's on normal mode. If I stay in here for 30 seconds, it should lower the vehicle. Unfortunately, I've got a roundabout coming up in a moment, so I don't think I'm going to be that lucky. We'll wait and see. No, I don't think it's. I have to cancel it, unfortunately. So what I'm going to do is actually go up to the next, I'm going to resume the cruise control and press this button here, and it should resume to my, as you can see my feet are off the accelerator, and it's actually going to try and resume back to where I set it, which I think was around 51 or 52. So there it is, but as you can see we've got another roundabout coming up, so I'm going to have to cancel that one, and I'll have to start the clip again when when I've got a straight bit of road. Show you the different ride height, the automatic ride height. It's at normal at the moment, so let's put cruise control on. Obviously I've hit the brake and I've turned off the cruise control by selecting the button, so it's not going to resume, so we're going to have to set it manually again. So we're about 50 miles an hour. That should be fine. So as you can see, my foot's off the accelerator now, tapping away. Cruise control on, normal height. Okay, so within probably maybe another 15 seconds, hopefully that should lower the. You should see that blinking to indicate that it's going to be going down any moment now. Hopefully, still at 50 miles an hour. There it goes, blinking away. Going to go on the low road, low axis height, and there we go. We're on a slightly better profile. We're lower, centre of gravity is lower, so which will give us better fuel economy, and we can actually lock that in. Basically, if I was to brake now for more than 30 seconds, it will actually go back to the normal height. So I can actually press that switch there, and it's an inhibitor switch, which will lock me into the low height profile. For as long as I turn off the engine. I'm just going to got a speed camera there, so let me just resume again. I'm only a fraction over the speed limit, so there's not really going to be a problem. Okay, so that's it. There you go, it's resumed back. Now I will show you a little bit of the kick down on the vehicle. It's a V8 4.6, as you know, very powerful. So I'm going to put my foot down now, just a normal mode. As you can see, it's pretty impressive. let go and it will resume back to the previous. Actually, if I press the brake just to stop allow these cars to go ahead a little bit, I'm going to turn off cruise, turn off the inhibitor, and I'm just going to flick over to normal, to sport mode. So I push that button, you can see sport's now illuminated, so the kickdown should be a little quicker. So here we go, see if there's any difference. And another speed camera, which is the kind of like gremlins in the UK. They seem to just be breeding, and they seem to be everywhere. So I'm still in sport mode, foot down, pretty impressive as you can see. There's one on the other side, so I'll just slow down. Obviously the fuel economy is not going to be as great in sport mode because it's going to stay in that gear longer to give you a better acceleration, but there you go, it all works, cruise and the automatic height selection. So, and as you can see, there's no dimming on the dashboard illumination, everything works, everything that should be illuminated is illuminated. Just a nice smooth ride. You're kind of cocooned to the outside world as well. I'll actually try and show you the tracking of the vehicle. It's going to be hard because of the camber of the road, obviously, to move the rain, the water flow off either side of the road. But if I just let go just for a moment, there you go, it's tracking straight. Actually, there's a bit of a camber on the road there. There you go, it's tracking straight. So there you go. I believe that concludes my my video tour of my 1999 Land Rover Range Rover Autobiography. As you can see, the last clip wasn't actually the last clip at all. The trouble with this vehicle, the Land Rover Autobiography Range Rover, is that it is fully loaded, and you almost feel like you're giving a disservice to Land Rover themselves by not mentioning all the different features and extras that was available for the vehicle, being that it was customised and quite rare, especially one in this condition. As you can see, it commands the road well. You've got a good seating, elevated position. You can see danger ahead, because you can, 9 out of 10, you can see above the vehicle in front, which is quite a nice position to be in. I was also going to mention yesterday that you can get LPG kits for the vehicle, sequential LPG. That way you don't suffer from performance loss. I know the earlier systems used to, and that actually goes where the spare wheel is in the boot, underneath the boot tidy. And essentially what would happen is so that way you don't lose any space in the rear. But what happens if you actually have a puncture is that it simply, you get a pressurised canister full of a particular liquid solution. If you do get a puncture, you just carry that around instead for a puncture repair kit, and essentially it's under high pressure and it squirts this particular formula into the tyre, which will resolve the puncture issue and get you out of jail, as it were. It will enable you to get your puncture repaired, and they just flush out the solution. So that's an option that I am contemplating, and also get some good fuel economy. As you can see from yesterday, I was doing 12.1 miles per gallon since I've reset it, and it's actually 12.4 now. There's a new Range Rover there, maybe one day. But yes, I'm just going to work, and I just thought I would mention that. And also, as you can see, the rear mirror is an anti-glare mirror, which is, I've never had a vehicle with that before, but it works out quite nicely. And also, I mentioned yesterday the tilt steering also. As you can see from this elevation, you can see above the car in front, you can see what they're doing if they're in trouble, or if so it's quite a safe vehicle to drive. Yeah, nice field of view. Well, I'm sure you'd agree. It was inevitable that I would forget certain things about the vehicle, being that it's so complex and has so many extras, but I thought it would be advantageous to show you the, well, I've shown you the condition of the upholstery, you know, mentioned that there was no faults on the electrical or mechanical side. Just wanted to show perhaps, which I didn't earlier, in the natural light, which would have benefited, but there's no stains on anywhere at the footwells of the passenger or rear passenger and driver's side carpet. You know, they are dry as a bone, always had mats. Which leads me to believe that I'm sure this vehicle has not been properly hardcore forward driving, as you can see, and the tailgate, it's a bit dark around the back, but you might just be able to see when I lower it. As you see, there's all fine. Now, the other thing I was going to mention was the fact that you can get LPG conversion kits for this vehicle, and the price of oil these days is around 128 pence a litre. With LPG, which is a butane and propane mix, you could actually get your car converted for around £1,400, and it will enable you to then drive for around 50 to 70p. So you're driving on almost like economy driving, yet driving around with a 4x4 with all its capabilities. 2.75 ton vehicle for not a lot of money, so it's something that I might consider at a later date. Now, what I'm going to do is show you the unidle on tick over the engine, and showing that there's no knocks or squeaks or anything foreign or untoward with the engine, but I'm just going to have to reverse back a little bit because life got the better of me, and I'm just using this petrol station, service station, just to show you the things that I missed. Okay, so also it might be worth noting that the sunroof, I've tried to create as much light in here, so, but normally obviously that cover goes over there, there's no sagging at all. Just put the light on. As you can see, there's no sagging. The lights came on there, I'm not sure if you noticed. Normally they'll come on when the door opens, but I just forced them on. Nice little dimmer there, nice feature. Just show you that, it's tilt. And one thing I forgot to demonstrate was the CD player, the 6 CD stacker system. I recall showing you the cassette player here, that obviously the eject button, but I actually forgot to show you the CD player, so I'll do that now. Okay, we'll put the radio on. Goodness knows what's going to be playing, but it's probably not my kind of music. Okay, I'll just show you the volume and the fact that the bass doesn't distort. So it's a good subwoofer, very good bass. Okay, which I showed before. Okay, CD. Let's go back. So you got your seek, next track, and so on. The normal regular CD buttons here, they're up and down. Got Lynyrd Skynyrd there. I'm sure that most people will appreciate that. Now I'm just going to show you on the steering wheel. Need to get a little bit more light, perhaps. I think that's all I can muster there. Okay, this is your audio selection button, so you can go through next CD track, for example, or the next one.